So on Toyota drivetrains, 35-inch tires are generally considered to be the limit before you start to consistently break parts. Yet, even with this knowledge beforehand, for some reason, I decided to slap 37s on this thing. So this is my 2001 Toyota 4Runner, and on today's episode, we are going to be taking on one of the most hardcore trails in Northern California, also known as the Rubicon Trail. And we're basically going to be seeing if this vehicle can handle 37-inch tires in a hardcore environment. Now, before we jump straight into the video, we're going to do a quick breakdown of all the mods in this vehicle so you have a general idea of how capable this vehicle is. So we have front and rear lockers on the vehicle. This vehicle is fully armored front and rear with a full set of skid plates from Doc Offroad underneath. Now, of course, a vehicle is only as strong as its weakest link, and on this vehicle I still have the stock CV axles. Well, not stock, I got rid of those in replacement for the Napa CV axles, which are arguably weaker. And of course, we only have a 7.5-inch diff up front and an 8-inch diff in the rear. So even though we do have a few limitations on this vehicle, we're going to be taking it through this trail to see how capable it really is.
You might need the lockers. There you go. driver. Slow, 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 slow.
Soon enough, we made it to the soup bowl, which is one of the Rubicon's most difficult obstacles. It does have a bypass, so this is an optional line if you're really trying to test your rig's limits. Although this obstacle can get you very off camber, once you get the passenger side tire into the bowl with the rock slider on the shelf, it's hard to tip over because the ledge will hold you up. The hard part here was just trying to get traction since the bowl was filled with water. I didn't attempt this obstacle because I knew I would most definitely snap an axle or tie rod. All of the other rigs with me had full long travel setups along with beefed up suspension and chromoly axles. After seeing what they're capable of, I think these upgrades will definitely be coming in the future since these are the only things holding me back now. Anyways, here are a few highlights of the vehicles that made it up the Super Bowl.
Got it? Hold right there, hold right there.
go.
There you go. Good shit, bro.
Nice. So basically, we were going up an obstacle. I had the tires fully locked in one direction, and I had both the front and rear lockers on, but we did end up snapping an axle over here. So this thing is completely toast. So I guess the answer to the question is, can you run 37s on a 4Runner without breaking shit? The answer is no.
You'll break an axle.
Well, if you're being conservative and not being dumb and turning the lock while you have both lockers on, then yes, you can, but so I learned my lesson here. So we were able to get the axle change out in 30 minutes. That wasn't that big of a deal, but that axle snap was completely my fault. I was turned fully to the passenger side with both lockers on. This is steep. But anyways, we are now back on our way out of the Rubicon. So I think the conclusion I want to make though is that 37s, you can totally run them. There's really no problem. That was completely user error right there, especially if you're being careful and not taking any unnecessary risks. Then it's completely doable. Keep in mind that I was running Napa CV axles, which is considered to be probably one of the weaker CV axles. I know a lot of people don't like putting chromoly axles on because they're afraid of breaking their diff, but after seeing what some of the other IFS rigs were doing with this here today, alright, this is the body damage rock here. How am I doing?
On the rock slider.
Can we keep going?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Keep on going. Oh no, we're good. Oh, I don't like that noise.
Anyways, so I think the verdict today is that you 100% can run 37s on an IFS 4Runner like this. I think that sticking a pair of chromoly axles would save you a lot of headache in terms of changing out your axles. Of course, some people say that having weak CV axles is a good idea because it prevents you from breaking your diff. But honestly, I really don't see that happening too often. We have another 4Runner out here on 38-inch tires. He was hopping and bouncing, and his diff was just fine with the chromoly axles that he was running. And I think it's a really rare instance where that would even happen. Of course, if it did happen, it would really suck. But from what I've seen on the Rubicon today, this vehicle is totally capable of running a 37-inch tire. Anyways, I hope that you guys really enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna try to get a lot of other good content out to you guys soon, and hopefully more wheeling videos like this one.